So you're thinking of becoming a stand-up comic during a worldwide pandemic. You know what? I'm not even going to ask you why. I'm just going to tell you what life is like for me, and you can go ahead and decide from there. Now, 2 weeks ago, I got an offer through a friend of a friend and also from some past networking to go ahead and play on a stage that I played on a few times before. Now, this isn't your typical crowd or typical event. In fact, most local stand-up comedians piss their pants when they think about playing an event on this very stage. There is a huge underlying difference between club comedy, as in comedy clubs, and event festival comedy, okay? And a lot of first year and second year comics don't know the fucking difference in the slightest. But they find it out real quick in the first 10 minutes of getting on a stage like this, in front of a crowd like this. Now, my first year doing stand-up, I did a favor for a close friend named Aaron Kinney, who's also a comedian, and he gave me a 20-minute spot performing in Abate's annual Boogie in Springville, Indiana. I agreed to do 20 minutes of jokes for like $15 and some edibles, and it was a rowdy crowd of motorcycle enthusiasts, okay? I mean, some of these guys made the cast of Sons of Anarchy look like little bitches, I'm not even gonna lie. I got booed off stage after 8 minutes, and I'm 90% sure that the edibles I ate were laced with LSD because I spent the rest of that night lying flat on my back, staring up at the sky and thinking weird existential shit about how I should hug my mother more often because I was a strange little kid growing up. We'll just throw up a really creepy picture of Dane Cook crying in an effort to hold your attention for a little while longer. Anyway, while most comedians would shy away from getting booked at an event like this again, I've since gone back for the last 3 years. Why? Because of the stage, of course. Always the stage. Ted Nugent, Leonard Skinner, and Aerosmith have played on this very stage, and now so have I. This time, I got $150 to headline on it for an hour. That's either a comedian's dream or nightmare. I mean, considering we're still enduring a worldwide pandemic, I'm going with dream here. The event staff treated me really well. Hell, they gave me plenty of food and beer and let me camp right on the grounds, and I did not camp alone. It was pretty fucking awesome overall. Now, the following is a compilation of videos showing how the weekend and the entire gig went, and like I said, I'm just making this video so fledgling stand-up comics can have an idea of what to expect. Alright, Totally Offensive Army. It may not look like much, but that's the same stage that Ted Nugent has been on, Leonard Skinner, and Aerosmith. And I'm doing comedy on it tomorrow night. Figured I'd go ahead and give it a dry run and work through some of my material, make sure I got a good stage presence for the crowd. Alright guys, I've got a mini Dana Electro amp, battery powered, and an old mic from the 70s. It's actually just a one-way mic, very simple. Kind of like comparable to the Shure SM58s, 57s. It's actually got really good studio quality to it, and this is what I'm rehearsing with. I just want to be able to project my voice off the stage to make sure I know I'm doing okay. Christmas during my childhood, my current sex life have a lot in common right now. No one came and I never felt an ounce of love during either one. You see, I had the type of childhood where it was considered a rite of passage, so you could pee on an electric fence the longest. Woohoo! Really, I'm just going through these jokes for you guys. I think I've got most of them memorized right now. I've got some buzzwords written down, but it's only like 2 or 3 words at a time. But we're working through it. We're at least memorizing our material like we're supposed to be. This was my view that I woke up to this morning. Do you have any idea how nice it is to wake up to this after 6 months of quarantine and avoiding viral pneumonia and racial riots about the world's injustice? That's my tent right there. Yep, didn't stay in that last night by myself. Oh no, I had company. And she brought herself some fancy sheets with some footballs and some basketballs and soccer balls on them. That's my fine cutlery right there. That's my fine china. Got me a cooler and a fan. Got me an electric skillet and one little tiny power outlet to go ahead and use. This is the glamour that comes with being a stand-up comedian, okay? Or a pimp in a tent, one of the two. And for those of you who want to know what a green room looks like, in case you ever think of becoming a comedian, don't. This is the green room. Got them folding tables and them chairs. Got that vinyl from 1971. Got a bathroom with a little shower stall in it, a little toilet. And yet this is still a better experience than playing the Comedy Attic in Bloomington, Indiana. Yeah, I said what I said. Blow me if you don't like it. We'll just go ahead and throw up a super fancy ass picture of a random green room in Los Angeles for comparison. Now this green room that I'm filming is actually rather typical for a green room in the entertainment industry, and they had another part of it that expanded into a room next door, with another bathroom, and both bathrooms were clean and functioning. That's a rarity in and of itself. In terms of green rooms, it's really not a bad one at all. My first time doing stand-up comedy involved me sitting on a way too accurate representation of the casting couch. Shout out to Pornhub, by the way. In a room with a giant hole in the ceiling from rather obviously leaky pipes, next to a desk being used by the club owner as a temporary office space. It was a bringer show, and everyone was being berated by the club owner, and those who didn't spend all their time kissing the club owner's ass got the worst of it. Side note, bringer shows are the kiss of death for a comedian. Don't pitch your act like a door-to-door salesman selling Kirby vacuums and Cutco knives and obligate your friends to stay out late when they have to be at work in the morning just so they can buy tickets and fulfill a 2-drink minimum so you can do a sad, unpolished 5 minutes on stage. Seriously, don't ever be that asshole. There's that comedian pose right there. Had me a double cheeseburger. Sure wish I had an ass. Now, the band you just watched call themselves Dead Giveaway. They're basically just a few old heads who play classic rock covers. The lead singer kept giving me shit throughout the night, and I kind of wanted to throw a little smoke at him with some Vince Neil and Viagra jokes, but honestly, they were cool as fuck, and they didn't have a bad sound, so I just kind of let it be. Oh, but don't worry, I'm still going to go ahead and throw up this goofy pic of Vince Neil, though. I mean, I've headlined with worse acts by far. We shared a mutual problem, though, and that was a lack of audience members thanks to fucking COVID. We had to push the start time of the show back a couple hours just so both of our acts would be featured in front of a sizable crowd. Now, normally this event brings in a couple hundred people on a slow night. This time, we were lucky to hit maybe 40 people tops. Dead Giveaway drove down from Brazil, Indiana, about 75 miles or so, and according to their lead singer, they've been through some shit because of COVID. They had trouble keeping a bass player, and the bass player they were using hadn't touched a guitar in well over a year, and that guy agreed to help them out the night before the show. To top it off, the weather report was calling for a possible thunderstorm, and these guys still had to tear down and load up and drive that 75 miles home in the dead of night. Honestly, I felt so bad for these guys because they got paid to do a 90-minute set and they had to push their start time back 2 hours, and then they had to go ahead and tear down, drive home, and they might have possibly done it in the rain. Thankfully, the rain never came, though. In an effort to help them out, I agreed to redo my entire act and just do 20-minute sets whenever they went on break. I mean, it worked out well for me and the band because we did our respective acts while a local bar owner was in the audience, and he mentioned booking us both in the coming future. The worst part for me was editing out all the transitions and one-liners in my material in favor of doing more crowd work and keeping the audience hyped. I'd been rehearsing this material for the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last thing I wanted, though, was a dead crowd. If you work with other entertainers when problems arrive, odds are those entertainers are going to recommend you to venues they play at in the future. So really, it pays off to be cool about this shit when it happens.
What's a political crowd like here? Are we Trump supporters or what are we doing?
Yep.
2 of you. The rest of you are too scared to say anything. That's a clear indicator of the world we live in. All right. Well, as it turns out, a lot of people give the president shit. He's a billionaire and he's the president. Okay, Stormy Daniels, who's a porn star who looks like a broken catcher's mitt, got $150,000 to have sex with the president. I ain't even told the joke yet. You keep laughing. I'd have done that shit for a third of the price of some McDonald's coupons. You know how cool it would be to bang a billionaire and a president? Oh my god, all these same women be saying the same shit too. Like they don't all of a sudden let a dude smash it for a trip to Olive Garden and a pack of cigarettes. Waking up the next day chain smoking, thinking they coochie smell like garlic breadsticks. Awful. It's pure awful. These same women always give the president shit about his hair too. Oh, Cheeto stick, his orange toupee. Acting like they don't go to a trailer park and bang a ball dude for 3 Percocets and a 2-liter Mountain Dew. This shit is the type of family where it was considered a rite of passage to see if you pee on an electric fence the longest. I got a wheeze out of that one. His asthma flared up just for Like, I got a sister, and she smokes a lot of pot and sleeps with a lot of random dudes. My family calls her the pothole. Yeah, you wouldn't hit it if you could avoid it. Subtle, I know. And I got another sister, man, like me, she's great with one-liners. You give her 1 line of cocaine and she'll suck every dick on this stage. Yeah. And to top it off, I don't know, man, Sunshine.
Why is he picking on me?
You ever seen the Aliens vs. Predator?
Yep.
You ever seen Predator starring Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Why is it every time the Predator opens his mouth, it looks like the inside of a really scary vagina?
I'm not a gynecologist.
You're not a guy. Okay, I have a question for you, Sunshine. Would you fuck the Predator in the mouth?
If I was drunk enough,
If you was drunk enough? You know,
I like teeth.
some material just writes itself. No matter what I've said now, I can never undo this. This is a moment I'm forever going to be traumatized about. That's good. Thanks, Sunshine. I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome, brother.
I was about to say, you mean to tell me I'm the only one sexually adventurous enough on this stage to mouthfuck the Predator, and clearly I have underestimated my audience. Clearly, thank you, Sunshine. I'm shotgunning a Toyota Prius because I'm environmentally conscious, but I'm also an epic piece of shit. Look at she crying. Oh, God.
You don't drive a Prius, do you?
Nope.
No, she's never been in a Prius. Like, I would take her heels to Jesus in a Prius, no problem. I'd be fine with that. I would totally be okay with that. And see, the thing is, my last girlfriend was 16 years older than me. And we were together for 3 years. All I'm saying is, you don't have any idea how hard it is not to come on a 49-year-old unibrow once in 3 years? We'll let that one marinate. I'm saying it takes a lot of fucking work. It takes a lot of skill. Like, I want a real woman. I want a bitch who's got warrants. That way when we argue, I know ain't nobody calling the cops. I'm telling you right now, you find me a bad bitch with a couple tramp stamps and a couple felonies, I'll find her a genuine cubic zirconia. Layaway or not, I'll nail that bitch down. I ain't scared. I want a girl who looks at collecting beer cans on the side of the road to be about as cool as going on African safari, okay? Because beer cans equal beer money, and that's the cycle of life. That shit matters. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want a girl who like stab me in my sleep and grab my dick like Helen Keller trying to read a piece of sandpaper. I want a girl who go after it like a dyslexic with the treasure map. X may not mark the spot because she may not be able to find it, but if the thumb ends up somewhere it shouldn't, I'm okay with it. I'm adventurous. I fuck the Predator, bro.
You see her name,
Yeah, there you go. Now we're warming up real good. That's what's up.
Motherfucker got my sense of humor. I don't know if this is great.
All right, here's the thing. I've come to the conclusion, through all the politics in the world of racial injustice, that I don't need a crowd of people or a slogan to make me feel better and not treat other people like shit. That's what I've learned. It's okay to have common decency and like someone. That's it. Okay, because here's the thing. You can say I'm offended these days, and people use that just as a phrase to get what they want. They just say I'm offended. Magically, everybody else gives in. One day you're eating a bowl of Captain Crunch. Then you find out your mouth is raw because you ate too much. Now all of a sudden you're prejudiced against pirates. Fuck you, Karen. Pirates are people too. See, I want to be part of this social revolution. So what I did was I bought me an Antifa protester kit off Amazon the other day. Looked at my mailbox this morning, and there was a skateboard, a box of pink hair dye, and a tube of glitter. So what I'm saying is, let the motherfucking revolution begin. I'm changing lives. Every day, I'm changing lives. Alright, I think I've done 20. I've got more material and stuff, but I'll go ahead and let them finish up on their breaks and everything and come back. And I'll do some more jokes for you guys. But overall, thanks. You've been a good audience. I appreciate the hell of you guys for showing up, sticking around.
When all the cars have gone and the stage is empty and you've got a fistful of cash and you're heading to the next place hungover as fuck, that's how you know you're a stand-up comedian.